Toronto police say a 28-year-old man has died after a group of suspects shot indiscriminately at him early yesterday morning. Investigators say the incident happened at about 12:30 a.m. as the man was approaching a townhouse complex. Detective Rob North of the Homicide Squad says it appears the victim briefly interacted with the suspects before they opened fire. He says officers found 20 shell casings in the area, suggesting the shooting was targeted, but he says he doesn't know why the victim would have been targeted because he has no gang affiliations. North says the suspects drove off together and the victim died at the scene. Andrew Scheer raised the specter of a tax and spend Liberal NDP coalition government and urged Canadians to hand the Conservatives a majority on October 21st. The Conservative leader's pitch came a day after NDP leader Jagmeet Singh said he would be open to formally working with a Liberal minority government. Neither Singh nor Liberal leader Justin Trudeau spoke of a potential alliance yesterday, however, instead sparring over a new North American Free Trade Pact still awaiting ratification.
I do not believe that Canadians want a Trudeau NDP coalition, a government where Justin Trudeau may be the spokesperson, but the NDP are calling the shots, because that will mean massive new taxes. It will mean endless deficits, threatening those important social programs, because more and more of your tax dollar will have to go just to pay the interest on the debt, on the new debt that they would be racking up, making life even more expensive. The choice could not be more clear now. And there is only one poll that I pay attention to, and that is the one on Election Day. And I believe that given the choice between a Conservative government, a Conservative majority government that will get back to balanced budgets, leave more money in the pockets of Canadians by cutting taxes, and an NDP Liberal coalition that will run massive deficits, lead to massive new increases in taxes, I am very confident that the Canadians will give us a mandate.
We secured a good trade deal with our most important trading partner at a time of American protectionism and uncertainty. And all the while, Andrew Scheer was saying that we had to cave. We had to just get any deal at any cost because NAFTA was too important and because that's what Stephen Harper told him to say. And the NDP? Well, the NDP have said that they want to tear up the current NAFTA deal and renegotiate it with Donald Trump. That's not standing up for workers.
We're not calling for it to be torn up. That's a lie that Mr. Trudeau said. What we are calling for is this. The current protections that are in place are not enforceable. And that means our Canadian workers are not being protected. Democrats in the States acknowledge that the agreement did not include enforcement of those protections. The environmental and labor or employee protections were not enforceable. So they were working on making it stronger. And I'm saying to Canadians, if you vote New Democrats, we're going to work with those in the States, the Democrats in the States, to make sure that this agreement does create a level playing field for Canadian workers so that they can compete across the world. The Democrats are doing it right now. They have a majority in Congress, and they're actually fighting to make sure that the deal has protections in place that are enforceable. Mr. Trudeau wrongly is rushing ahead to ratify something when in the States, Congress is actually working to make it stronger.
This year, the winner of Sue's Got Talent is Adrian Sullivan.
20-year-old Sault Ste. Marie singer-songwriter Adrian Sullivan was the winner of the second annual Sue's Got Talent competition. Sullivan was one of the top 7 acts who performed at Sue Blasters on Friday after surviving several elimination rounds over the past month. On TV was there and caught up with Sullivan after the finale. And by the way, if you weren't able to see it, tune into On TV Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. to watch the full finale.
I feel pretty good. It was a really good time coming out, a really good opportunity, and we had a chance to meet all the other contestants and spend some time with them, and yeah, it was a really good time. I'm really fortunate. I'm actually with a band right now with 3 other guys, and we're called the Uncanny Valley, and we've been practicing for a little, not only about a month or so now, but we've gotten me and the guitar player have been jamming for all this year essentially. So I think that's the next step. We're going to start doing gigs in bars and things like that. And next year, Rotary Fest, we're hoping to get our act together in time. And yeah, I just became a total Beatles fanboy, and I got completely obsessed with the Beatles. And then I thought, you know, a lot of their stuff is pretty simple, especially the earlier stuff. I was like, I feel like I could do that and kind of twist it in some way and make it original. And then from there, it just kind of progressed, and I started to feel more comfortable as a songwriter and feel like it's something I can do. And yeah, it's just music's something I've always loved and wanted.
You gave me something to believe in when I had no thought on all I would do to keep it all. I had you and you gave me something to believe.
CanTrust says it will destroy $77 million worth of pot plants and inventory. It's all part of its efforts to comply with regulations as authorized by Health Canada. The Vaughan, Ontario-based company received a notice of license suspension back in September, indicating its authority to produce cannabis other than cultivating and harvesting and to sell pot had been suspended. The company says its board of directors has determined it necessary to destroy $12 million worth of biological assets and about $65 million worth of inventory that was not authorized by CanTrust's license. CanTrust says it will not challenge Health Canada's partial suspensions and remains focused on working with the regulator. It says this destruction process will free up much needed capacity to implement remediation measures and store material that's been grown and processed in accordance with the company's license since April 5th. They say they will implement measures identified by the regulator, including ensuring cannabis is produced and distributed only as authorized and improving record keeping as well as inventory tracking.